Hey, it's Mateo of Two Brain Marketing. On this edition of the Two Brain Marketing Podcast, I'm talking with Teegan Webb from SkyBox Studio in Australia. You'll learn all about her experience opening a boxing studio in a small town with her husband. You'll also learn about her advertising system and how she spent $380 on ads and generated $8,500 in front-end sales. So you don't want to miss this. Make sure to subscribe to Two Brain Radio for more marketing tips and secrets each week. Hello and welcome to the Two Brain Marketing Podcast. I'm your host, Mateo Lopez, and I am here with Teegan Webb with two B's from Western Australia. Teegan, I'm going to go ahead and let you explain where you are, where you're from, and your business. So, but first, how's it going?
It's going great. Thank you so much for having me. I feel very privileged to be speaking to you.
Oh, well, thanks for taking the time. So for those listening, tell us a little about who you are, where you're from, and a little bit about your business.
So we are in a pretty remote area in Western Australia. Our closest capital city is Perth, which is a 5-hour drive away. So it's a long way away. Our city of Geraldton is probably about 30 to 40,000 people, and it's quite spread out. We don't live in a concentrated hub. It's quite widespread. I own and run a boxing gym and fitness studio with my husband. We're just a husband and wife team, and we're slowly integrating some new staff due to our overwhelming boost in numbers, thanks to Two Brains. So yeah, that's us. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. So I've never been to Perth, or the western part of your continent, but I spent a lot of time in Melbourne for a while, which was great. So your country is awesome. Tell me a little about how you got into fitness and what it was like starting up your own studio in a small town.
Mm-hmm. So I've not been doing fitness my whole life. I was not one of those genetically blessed people that came out running and jumping and being amazing. Fitness was something that came later in my life. I was always dabbling in retail and other blah, blah jobs. And I just found a serious passion for boxing and running. And then I thought, you know what? This is what I want to do all day, every day. I don't want to do a 9-to-5 job. I want to live my passion. And I couldn't really find anywhere that catered for me. I'd done everything. I'd done Les Mills, group fitness. I'd joined gyms, and I'm just I get bored too quickly. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to open my own gym and I'm going to do things my way. I'm also a yoga instructor. So it was like boxing, yoga, fitness. It was for women, for kids, and for men, and for everyone. So we're a bit of a niche market. We're an ungym gym.
Yeah, tell me a little bit more about that, because a lot of the people who are on here are obviously CrossFit gyms or powerlifting or strength and conditioning gyms. So tell me a little bit about your service offering and the programs you offer and how you bring people in and what you prescribe to them in terms of a fitness solution.
First and foremost, we're a boxing gym. We have a competition team who actively compete and fight. We also do a lot of kids classes. We've got probably 60 to 70 kids at the moment, and a wait list to take on more. And then we run everything as well from like boxing for fitness, so where it's bags and pad work and your general, lunges and squats and abs and all those things integrated. So we try to offer a bit of everything. We do one-to-one PTs where we teach people the fundamentals of boxing from absolute beginners, and then, like I said, through to the competition team. My husband's also an amazing trainer as far as weights and things like that go, so he also does a lot of PT clients with that sort of thing. So yeah, we're a bit of a broad spectrum of everything and anything goes.
It's interesting because a lot of CrossFit gyms I talk to often struggle with the fact that if they've been open for 3, 4, 5 years, they'll have people who get kind of advanced and then want to start competing. And then there's like a competitive cell that develops in their gym. And then they have a tough time balancing that with the people who just want to get in shape. And then they have like a crisis of identity because it's like, who do we cater to? Who's more important? And often the ones who've been there longer are louder, but they are smaller. So how have you balanced that where you have, it sounds like a very, a competitive team that is serious about training and competing, and then also the people who are in for general fitness? How do you balance those two?
So we're pretty lucky because at the moment, a lot of our competition boxers, they're amazing coaches. They know how to teach people. They know how to talk to people. They've been taught that way, so they love to give it back. So we're really lucky that in a lot of our classes, our beginners will work with our more experienced boxers so that they learn from the best. They're not two beginners floundering around. So we are extremely lucky that we can nurture our competition team. They can go to other clubs or down to Perth for interclub to work with people at their own level. Then they've got each other, and then they're also nurturing back in their own club. So yeah, we're extremely lucky that we can find that balance. Yeah.
That's awesome. So it sounds like you're able to balance it in the classes because for them it sounds like they're also teaching and giving back and while still getting their workout in, that's awesome. Okay.
Oh, sorry.
Oh no, go for it. Yeah.
I think being inclusive is really important in that. I think a lot of newbies or people that are new, they love to see the level that a competition boxer will train at. So for them to be in the same class as a competition boxer, they're like, wow. So I feel like it brings everyone up to standard. They know what's expected and what they can strive towards.
I'm skipping ahead a little bit, but this is bringing up something that's interesting too, because with CrossFit, a lot of people are intimidated. I imagine if you're coming into a boxing gym and you see some jacked people go, hitting really fast, I imagine that would also be intimidating. So how do you, in your sales process, assuage some of those fears? Or if people come in, I want to try this, but it looks like, I don't know, it looks kind of scary. Am I going to get hit in the face? What's going to happen?
Yeah. But then sometimes I also feel like with boxing, maybe it's the opposite. We get a lot of people come in and go, oh yeah, I want to compete. Yeah. I watch UFC and then they're like one class and they're on the floor in pieces and they're like, I can't do this. So maybe we're the opposite realm where we get the ones that want to come in and go hard and then realize they can't.
Okay, that's interesting. But that also makes sense. Yeah, there's more of a sport that more people have seen. Like, I want to be like that, and they come in, they're like, oh wait, I don't want to be like that anymore. Okay, cool. All right, so how long has your gym been open then?
So we've only been open, it was 2 years in April. So yeah, 2.5 years. So we're still building. Yeah.
And what was life like in the early days? Also working with your husband, and then what was kind of the catalyst for wanting to, inquire about Two Brain and sign up for mentorship? So
I think we started and things were quiet, and then we built, and slowly we got a little group. We got a little hustle of boxers, and it was great. We felt great. We felt blessed that people chose to train with us. We were living our dream, and then we got to the point where we were like, what do we do now? Like, I don't know, we were okay. Like we were making enough money to make ends meet. It wasn't anything great, but it was employing both of us and we were together, and that's what makes us happy. And then, I feel like when you open a business, it's this massive, exciting, you're just going on no sleep because it's so fun and great and, all those wonderful things. And then all of a sudden it becomes a job. It's a real serious job. And you feel like you get to the top of the cliff almost, and you're looking over the edge thinking, do I jump? Or, like what's next? Is this a wise move, or should we just start walking back down to where it's safe? So I think we needed somebody to help us make those decisions, to tell us that it's okay and push, like keep going, keep pushing. Yeah, jump off the cliff because you'll be fine.
Awesome. Yeah. And I think, it can be scary because, and Coop talks about this a lot too. It's like the things that brought you success in one phase of your business are not going to do take you to the next level in the same way, right? So you have to find what those things are to make those changes, and having a mentor can really help with that. So what was the first thing that you saw change as you went through mentorship?
I think maybe accountability for myself and what I was spending my time doing. And it was valuing my time a little bit more and being a little bit wiser with it. Yeah.
So doing that like exercise where you're calculating your hourly rate and realizing, oh, wait a second, I probably should hire this job out because this doesn't make sense for me or whatever.
Yeah. I was the opposite though. I was like, oh, I'm happy to do that to get paid like $2 an hour. And my husband was like, well, I'm not. Like, he's like, oh, we're getting stooged.
Yeah, totally. Okay, awesome. And so what was your new client acquisition strategy prior to Two Brain and prior to the Two Brain marketing stuff?
I cringe thinking about it now. It was atrocious. I didn't really know how. I didn't know how to do it. I feel like I'm one of those people that I'm a little bit impulsive, and I guess I just opened a gym and was like, here I am, like, come on, everybody come train. Like, and then you get those few people and you're like, woohoo. And then I was like, so hello, anybody else? Like, I had no idea how to find people. I had no idea at all. None.
So was it just kind of word of mouth before, and it was just kind of like, all right, find a couple boxes, and they told a couple other people, and then that was it?
Yep, that was how it worked. Yeah, small town. I was like, people know about us. They'll come if they want. If they don't, it's no biggie. Yeah, that was us.
Awesome. And so once you were working with Calm, and once you started to build out your system, what were some of the results that, what changed? What results did you see from your first campaign?
The first campaign was massive, and it was something that we'd never done before. And I understand now why it's done. But at the time I was like, I'm never going to be one of those gyms. I'm never going to be one of those, quick, limited 10 places, get in now. Like, oh God, I cringe watching it myself. So I was like, I'm never going to do that. And now that I've done it, I'm like, yeah, no wonder it works. It's brilliant. Like, I feel like it's we made ours quite personal. Like, I spoke on the video. It was unscripted. It was just how I felt about training. And I thought, you know what, we targeted our first campaign towards women, and it worked. Women procrastinate. We need routine. We need to be held accountable. We need to feel part of something. It was all those things that I felt. And once I said it, and other women were like, wow, like, that's exactly how I feel. And I was like, because you're not alone, And I think that's the biggest thing with your marketing is, I didn't really know who I was reaching out to. I felt like I was just throwing it out there, and something in it worked. Yeah. And it was all those marketing, it was all those strategies of putting all those little pieces into place. It took a long time to get the program, the schedule and what I wanted to sell. It took a long time, but when it was done, it was really good. It's really good. Yeah.
That's awesome. So how did you structure, because your gym is a little bit different than a lot of the ones we work with. So how did you structure your offer, and what did you decide to first sell?
So the offer is perfect, and it's pretty much something we'd never done before, which I don't know if it's Two Brains or CrossFit, but it's called On-Ramp, right? I didn't know what On-Ramp was. I had no freaking idea what On-Ramp was. But now I know how to sell On-Ramp because Two Brains taught me that. And when I sell it, I tell women, this is why you need it, because for a stranger coming into any gym and going into a class, that's scary as hell. Like, that is so scary. And I admire now my clients that have actually done that without having any On-Ramp. I'm like, you guys are amazing. I never would have done that. I'm like, you're incredible. So now when I sell it to women, it's a 6-week package. They spend 2 weeks doing PT, which is On-Ramp, to get them ready for classes. So we know they know how to box, they know how to pad hold, they know how to do a squat, a lunge, they know every exercise. They're never going to walk into a class and go, what the hell? Like we've prepped them for that. Like, so a lot of women are like, oh, awesome. Like that's just what I want to hear. So yeah. And they're used to us, they're used to the gym. They're used to us as coaches. Coming to a class is not a big deal by the end of the 2 weeks with us. So yeah.
I mean, that's how I would want, if I were to pick up boxing, that's how I would want to start. I would want to start with one-on-ones first.
Yeah, for sure.
But even just the sparring, shadowing drills with a partner can be like really scary. So if you have it with the coach first, that just makes perfect sense. How much did you spend on your first campaign, and what were the results from that?
Spent just under $400. It was like 386 cents, and I turned over like $8,500.
Wow, pretty awesome return on that. What was it like dealing with the leads coming in?
Full on. That was the biggest thing that surprised me, is how much time I spent doing that. And I had my call with my original mentor, with Laurie, and she was like, Teegan, what is taking up the most time? And I was like, lead nurture. I was like, it's exhausting. And we had the discussion where she was like, well, maybe that's something you need to pass on. And I was like, okay. And then I had to think about it, and I thought, you know what? Lead nurture is like one of the highlights of my job. I love it. I love contacting the clients. I love pestering people. But I love just touching base with them. And I love the no sweat intro of just getting to know someone and how they tick. And I think because sales is so new to me, that I'm finding it really interesting. Like I've never had a sales job before to this extreme. That's so personal. So I'm really enjoying getting to understand that a little bit more.
Awesome. So what is the process? Like, how do you approach, so the lead comes in, you call them, how do you approach that phone call to get people to come in and to make them feel like, oh, it's a boxing gym, but don't worry, it's going to be awesome.
Yeah, I'm always just like, oh, thanks so much for your interest, and like it's so great, to speak to you. And I'm like, we'd love for you to come in. We really want you to see our gym. We really want you to meet us, and I really want you to hear about this, our 6-week program, because it's something that is working so well for so many women, and it's been really carefully considered and thought out. So yeah, I love that. Yeah, they're interested, and I want them to come in and delve into it. Yeah. And
so they walk into the door. What happens?
Well, they see us, so naturally they've got a smile on their face. No, so I always greet them. We come in. We have a puppy. We have a pet dog that's at our gym. Comes with us. So she's a draw card. She usually runs off and is like, trying to tear their leg off and things. Yeah, so we've got a pretty open space. Our gym's a really nice open space. So yeah, they come in, they sit down. I love my 2Brain little NSI sheet that I have all ready to go with all my little lead questions on it. And yeah, my first go-to question, I think, is always like, so what are you looking for? Like, what are you hoping that a fitness program or an exercise regime, like what are your hopes out of this? And yeah, and I found the answers are nearly always the same. For women, it's been career that's gotten in the way, or it's been children, or they're quite young and they've just spent the last few years pretty much making bad choices. So they're ready to commit to something. And I think that's been the biggest thing, is that's what they're looking for. They want accountability and they want commitment.
Awesome. You lead with that question. You have your sheet. You take them through. What else? Do you do anything differently for your intake process than like maybe some of the other people do in some of the barbell gyms? Do you do any kind of movement assessment? Do you do any kind of like scan, or is it just like, yeah, you're going to box, you're going to have a great time. You sign up here and see you tomorrow.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, we've got like body composition scales. So I'm always like, we're going to get you on there. That's going to be your first session. Is we're going to weigh you in. We're going to teach you how to wrap your hands. That's a massive thing, because it's like putting on a uniform. Like you wrap your hands, you're ready for business. And the women love it. They're like, yes, like this is so cool. Like, so yeah, that's their go-to. And then, and then we get moving, and yeah, it's nice.
That's awesome. Yeah. I bet that ritual, that's probably a highlight for a lot of people for sure. That's really cool. we're getting to the end here, but I want to ask you, what's it like? How has it been? And I know for a lot of people, yeah, I want to know how it's been with your husband working in this new business together. How has that been like? How's the dynamic been? What were you expecting? What surprised you? And how do you continue to? I mean, it sounds like the business is going really well. So I just want to know how that experience has been for you.
It's been really good. I'm a bit of a workaholic. So that's probably one of the hardest things in our marriage is that he's like, get off the computer, get off, like stop doing what you're doing. But I'm like, I'm just going to watch one more podcast. Yeah, I could spend hours like geeking out on my lead sheets and stuff. That's me all day long. And he's just an amazing coach. He's the best trainer. He's the best coach. So I think we have the perfect combination. I'm a total geek. I love the computer side of it and getting to know all that sort of business, the marketing and everything like that. And he just loves training people. So now the biggest thing for us is we've got our roles and tasks now. We understand what they are, and now we're starting to give them out to people. We're starting to take a bit more of, I know you always own your own business and you run your own business, but until you start delegating tasks, you don't realize how much you do until you're like, oh, actually, it's going to take 4 people now to take the workload of what we were doing. Like, we just didn't realize that. So that's the hardest part, is letting go of little things that we like to hold on to.
Yeah.
Yeah. It
for
is
sure.
tough. Yeah, it is tough.
Jeff was on here. Burlingame was on here the other day, and he was saying the key to, if you're going to have a business partner, the key is you have to enjoy doing different things. If you both enjoy doing the same thing, it's never going to work. And it sounds like, it sounds like your husband's really passionate about training and coaching. It sounds like you're really into the client facing side and in terms of the intake and the processes. So that's awesome. And I think that's really important. Well, great. This has been amazing. I guess the last thing I want to ask is, it sounds like you've seen a lot of growth in the past 2 years. It sounds like you're growing even more now. What do you think has been the key to your success so far?
2 brains.
You don't have to say that, by the way. You don't have to say it.
It's changed. It's changed everything. It's changed how we see our business. We used to see it as a job we brought ourselves, a cool, not a hobby. Like, it was always a business, but I don't think we took it that seriously. Like, we were just happy to coast along. And now that we're like seeing the potential of what we're actually capable of, it's blown our minds. Like, we were just like, wow, where did these people come from? We undervalued ourselves. We were charging a pittance. Like, we really were. We look at it now, we're like, God, what were we thinking? Like, we were cringing that everyone around us was charging double, and we were like, God, and now we're like, we're worth it. We're bloody worth it. Like, so that's been a huge thing. And that was a lot down to Laurie, like our mentor, being like, you guys cut it out. Like, who are you kidding yourselves? Like, stop it. She was like, stop now. So that was huge. We put in new pricing structure, it was tough. We went back and forward over it a lot. And it was one of the hardest things, but we've come to some really good decisions. Our clients are really happy with it. We've taken on, a cleaner, extra coaches. Like, we're delegating roles now, and we're watching our gym and it's our life. We're watching it grow like in front of our eyes. And it's been really pleasantly surprising. It has been hard work. Like, I've put in a lot of hours getting the marketing, the pricing, just getting my head around all, the 2 brains, like, using it to the best that I could. And it's paying off. It really is. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I think what you said earlier, until you start to delegate and until you start to look at the roles and tasks and change your mindset a little bit, the business owns you instead of you owning the business. It owns you and your time. Well, that's great. That's amazing. I'm so excited for you. If people want to learn more about you, if people want to come to Australia and box, if people want to learn more about that, where can they find you?
So we have our website, which is skyboxstudio.com.au. You can find us on Facebook, SkyBox Studio, Instagram, SkyBox Studio. We're everywhere.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Teegan, for taking the time.
Thank you so much for having us. And yeah, it's been Two Brains has been amazing. Yeah, thank you.